What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. Y'all know I'm trying to get caught up on all the content. So, the Brooklyn pastor, otherwise known as the Bling Bishop, Lamor Whitehead, was found guilty of spending $90,000 of his parishioners' savings on luxury goods. So, a flashy jewelry wearing Brooklyn pastor was convicted Monday in federal court using a parishioner's retirement savings and trying to extort a businessman while touting that he had connections to the New York City mayor. Lamar Whitehead, nicknamed the Bling Bishop, is a pastor at the Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries. He was found guilty on 5 counts, including wire fraud, attempted extortion, making false statements to the FBI. The convictions are from 3 separate schemes. Whitehead, who's known for his Louis Vuitton suits and extravagant jewelry, also made headlines in 2022 after he said that him and his wife were robbed of $1 million worth of jewelry at their church. Wait, he said that the robbery was at his church? I thought they were robbed at their house. That's probably what kicked off the FBI investigation, because things like that, like who would have $1 million of jewelry at their church? Not even Joel Osteen would have $1 million of jewelry in his church. That doesn't make sense. Okay, see that might have been what tipped off the FBI. A jury found that Lamar Whitehead abused the trust placed in him by a parishioner, tried to obtain a fraudulent loan using fake bank records, bullied a businessman for $5,000, tried to defraud him out of far much more than that, and lied to federal agents. The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, said in a news release. And y'all know that courthouse don't play. The Southern District of New York, that's like the pinnacle of, the court proceedings. Like if your case gets there, it's a wrap. Okay. Whitehead's reprehensible lies and criminal conduct have caught up with him as he now stands convicted of 5 federal crimes and faces time in prison. Prosecutors said that Whitehead defrauded one of his parishioners by convincing her to invest $90,000 of her retirement savings with him, according to the indictment. The document said that Whitehead would help her buy a home and invest the money, but he used it on luxury goods and personal expenses instead. Whitehead also extorted a businessman for $5,000 and then attempted to convince the man to loan him $500,000 and grant him a stake in real estate transactions in exchange for obtaining favorable connections with the New York City government that he knew he could not provide, according to the indictment. Whitehead used his ties to the New York City mayor, Eric Adams, to try to make the deal. As the U.S. Attorney's Office said when they brought this case, the defendant knew that he could not obtain favors from the city government. With this ruling that was proven right, a spokesperson for the mayor's office told CNN on Tuesday. Whitehead also made false statements by telling FBI agents he only had one phone, when in actuality he had 2, according to the indictment. Each count carries a maximum sentence of 20 years, except for the false statements, which is a maximum sentence of 5 years, according to the district attorney's office. Don Floro, one of Whitehead's attorneys, said that they plan to appeal the verdict. His sentencing is scheduled for July 1st. Wow. So a few things, right? My heart goes out to, the elderly woman that he defrauded for her life savings, essentially. I think that there is nothing worse than abusing people financially. It says that he was also, he lived in a $1.6 million mansion in a New Jersey city, and he owns several apartment buildings in Hartford, Connecticut. So, he said that they said that he made headlines when he was robbed of $1 million in the middle of a church service. Okay, see, every single time I try to find new research, the story gets more extravagant and more just outlandish. Like, sir, I don't know what in the fraud is going on. Did we learn nothing from Frank Lucas? Okay. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie, American Gangster, but it was based off of the real life of Frank Lucas, okay, who was, in Harlem, and he made his money, being a street pharmacist, okay. But here's the thing, everything was going actually really well for him, not condoning what he did, but he, set up everything in a way that allowed him to stay under the radar until he decided to get flashy and he went to a boxing match and this really expensive chinchilla hat and coat. Ding, ding, ding. That gets the attention of all the people that he did not want the attention of, the feds, the cops, everybody was checking for him. Like, who is this man, this black man in this chinchilla fur coat with a matching hat? And his wife was all, jeweled out, decked out, right? If you are, I don't even want to, I mean, I'm trying not to get dinged by YouTube, but what I will say is when he said that he had a robbery of $1 million in jewels, that's going to set off the feds, the IRS specifically, that division. However, for you to say that you got robbed in church, that is like all the red flags. That's like Risa Tisa, what did she say? The United Nations level of red flags, okay? Then it was in the middle of service. Stop. Just please stop. I'm like, how outlandish can you be? Like, he's so flashy. And this Gucci suit on the left, I looked a little bit closer and it had Balenciaga and Gucci both on the same suit. If I were to see a pastor wear this suit, I'm not joking, I would have pivoted like I was at West Point Cadet, okay? I would have turned heel toe right back out that door if I would have seen a pastor of a church wear this, okay? Because that person does not have, in my opinion, their own best interest at heart. They're definitely not looking out for the parishioners. But my heart does go out to that woman who was just trying to secure a home. And she trusted this man. You know what I mean? Like, a pastor is supposed to be someone that you can trust. Unfortunately, a lot, and I do mean a lot of people, pastors, priests, right? They abuse that position of authority. They're going to have to answer to God for that, right? Like, I leave all that in the Lord's hands. But what I will say is before he answers to God, he's going to have to answer to the federal government and the IRS July 1st. That's the sentencing date, okay? Those tears on the right, yeah, I would be crying tears too, because one thing that the U.S. government does not do, they do not play about their money. And if you are going to be out here wearing Gucci / Balenciaga suits, defrauding your parishioners of, $90,000, and then he was trying to go after the other man for 5 racks and then $500,000. Side note, and you're in New Jersey and New York, those are both really expensive places to live. Sir, who do you think, like who are your parishioners? Because most people don't have, 90,000. Like, this was this woman's whole life savings, and then for you going after this other businessman who you were trying to get $500,000, that's $500,000. That's not LeBron James or like a professional athlete. That's a businessman who worked really hard for that money. It's really unfortunate that, he took such a trusted position and used it to defraud his parishioners, as well as the government. And the government has the power and the resources to fight back. So I'm going to keep you guys updated on his sentencing in July, Lord willing, right? We're all still here and healthy and all that good stuff. But yeah, this is horrible. Fraud and extortion. Those are huge charges. They said every single charge comes with a 20-year sentence, with the exception of making the false statements, which each has a penalty of 5 years. Listen, that is some serious time, federal time. And typically when the feds come after you, you you're what they say, like I think like 95% likely to be indicted, and you have to at least do 80 to 85% of that time of the federal time. So to me, it's not worth it. Frank Lucas, again, he said, I think he burned that hat and that coat because it was ultimately his downfall, being flashy like that. I mean, it's a target. It puts a target on your bag. It's literally a red flag. It's not smart, but those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I will talk with you later. Take care, Aces. Bye.